So, earlier this morning, Nintendo decided to finally drop the fact that they did, in fact, have a Nintendo Direct planned for us this month. And it's just 2 days away. As per usual, it's always on a random Tuesday or Wednesday morning. They decide, hey, you know what? Just be prepared within the next day or so. Every single time, just no warning, almost. It damn near feels like, right? So, of course, we had no way to prep up for this. But, a lot of people were kind of anticipating it, so, that's totally fine. I just didn't really think there was going to be one until, next month or something like that, but I'm totally okay with the fact that we do have one in just 2 days from now. And it's a full hour of just God knows what. Pray to God it's not a bunch of farm sims. We'll see what happens. But we have a lot of new information coming through for us for all of the upcoming games that are going to be on Switch too. So I'm giving a couple of predictions and a couple of hopes and wishes, right? Let's go ahead and start with predictions. Obviously, the first major thing is that we are likely going to get, as far as ports go, we're probably going to get a good couple of ports. The primary one that I'm concerned with the most right now is Final Fantasy VII Remake, because they did announce that game was going to be coming to Switch 2, and we should be getting a finite release date for when that is supposed to be coming to us. Probably, I wouldn't even be surprised if that was the opener for this, right? And then on top of that, we'll probably get some form of release window or a general idea of when Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to be coming to Switch 2 as well. They already said that was going to be 2026, but they'll probably have a little teaser or trailer thing saying oh yeah, Rebirth 2026, and that's totally fine. I'm really okay with that. That's great. That's awesome. I'll definitely, I could see myself picking it up on Switch 2, because why not? Final Fantasy VII Remake is easily one of my favorite games of all time, and I absolutely adore it. I would love to have it to be able to just take on the go for whenever I do occasionally do that. It's rare for me, but when I am feeling some Final Fantasy, that would be really, really sick. Okay, I know I said ports, but in reality, that's kind of the only one that I really care about anyway. Not that I know of anyway. If there are more, I'm sure there are, I'll circle back, but for now, that's the primary one that I'm worried about. And then obviously we're gonna have a couple of Switch 2 editions. I'm really, really hoping that we do actually see the Xenoblade trilogy and obviously Xenoblade Chronicles X get their Switch 2 editions, if anything, or at least some major updates or something like that, because we did see a while back that after Xenoblade Chronicles X released to us, there was a toggle that somebody dug into for the files for. They were able to see that there was a toggle for a upscale version of it so that it could run in 60 frames, higher frame rate, obviously, in higher resolution and things like that. So I'm really praying that does so happen to be the case, and we do finally get those either updates or whatever, or Switch 2 editions, whatever they so happen to be. Because if there's any franchise on Nintendo's library that deserves Switch 2 editions or upscaling and just more time in the limelight in any way, shape, or form, it's Xenoblade. Those games are made with so much love, so much care, and those worlds are built with such just immaculate detail that I just can't see a situation in which they don't get the love that they deserve. I will get a Switch 2 edition of Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, 3, and X. Don't even test me, brother. Don't even test it, right? So I really do hope that's the case, but I feel like that's pretty likely at this point, because Xenoblade Chronicles X has been out for a good while now, so I'm sure that they've just been kind of maybe doing some touch-ups on the previous games so that we could get all of those updates at once, possibly. I really do hope that's the case. I also have to imagine that Super Mario Bros. Wonder is also getting either an update or a Switch 2 edition. It's very, very strange that game has just been kind of sitting there for ages now, and it hasn't gotten literally anything, right? So I have no doubt in my mind that they have something planned, at least for Super Mario Wonder. It has been 2 years though, so I really don't know. It's such a weird position, right? Because they were obviously good and well into the development, or finishing up development for the Switch 2 by the time Super Mario Bros. Wonder had come out back in, was it 22 or 23? So there has to be a situation in which they do have something planned as far as either an update or some form of extra content situation, kind of like how we got with Kirby in the Forgotten Lands, right? So I'd like to imagine there's something more for Super Mario Bros. Wonder, because that game really did just kind of come and go, right? And I feel like it deserves a lot better than that, because that was another game that was very clearly crafted with some love and care, right? So hopefully that is the case. Moving into releases that we already know good and well about, I fully suspect that we're going to get some form of full release date and a new trailer for Metroid Prime 4. It was slated for this year, so that has to be one of our holiday releases, right? I mean, we already have ZA coming to us in literally a little over a month, so that's going to be a big seller, obviously, but we do need something for that, like much closer to the holiday season, like November, December type situation that looks like really good, and that, you know, obviously manipulates like the mouse feature like they really want us to be using. And I feel like Metroid is going to be that. So Prime 4 definitely has to be slated for the holidays. It has to be super soon, right? It's got to be within the next coming months, probably within the next 3, no doubt about that. That's probably going to be one of the major like first reveals of like the first party titles, right? And then of course, you know, I mean, as far as I guess technically it's a third party title, which is weird because it's a first party IP, but whatever. Age of Imprisonment, they announced that ages ago. We got 2 major trailers for it, but we still don't have a release date for whatever reason. I have to imagine that alongside most likely some form of an update, or like maybe even a Switch 2 edition, maybe not a Switch 2 edition, but probably an update for like upscaling for Age of Calamity. We're likely to get some form of release date for Age of Imprisonment, which I can also imagine being within the next month or 2 for the Switch 2's like holiday season. You know, we're already getting very uncomfortably close to the end of the year, so that definitely has to be in the cards as far as a release date goes. I have no doubt in my mind that's probably within the cards. I could definitely see them doing like a little segment for Kirby Air Riders just to show off like a potential, like, you know, here's an extra thing that we didn't show you during the initial Kirby Direct, where we get a glimpse of the character that was shown off at the very end with absolutely no context and no real detail on who they were or anything like that. We could get some more information on that, and that could potentially lead into us knowing about a potential story mode or campaign that could be taking place in Kirby Air Riders that could, you know, help be another selling point for this title, because, you know, I am very excited for Kirby Air Riders. It does look very, very good, very crisp, very clean. I'm super excited for it. I'm definitely going to be putting in hella hours, but, you know, as one of the 3 major racing titles in, you know, the like kart racing just genre right now that's coming out amongst Mario Kart World as well as Sonic Racing Cross World, I feel like that could definitely give it that oomph, that like, oh, here's what this game has over these, you know what I mean? Which, again, very strange that they're doing this, releasing a major, it's not technically is it a kart racer? I guess I'm gonna call it a kart racer. You use something equivalent to karts. It's very weird that they even decided to do this with Mario Kart World being present at all this year, so, you know, I'm not going to complain about it because I really love Kirby Air Ride, so Kirby Air Riders looks extremely pleasing to me, but it doesn't make it any less strange, right? So we'll play it by ear. Maybe that won't happen, but I could definitely see them doing like a little segment showing off more of what's going on with that, right? Another thing that they probably have to talk about now, at the very least, is Splatoon Raiders. We don't have any set release date or information on this game. We're probably going to get a pretty dedicated segment for Splatoon Raiders because we have zilch in terms of information. We know nothing about that game, and that is truly alarming because we haven't heard anything from, you know, that side or anything about Splatoon in general in a good minute now. And because Splatoon 3 is generally wrapped up, you know, it did have its last Splatfest a month or 2 ago now. It's been a good minute now, and that just goes to show, you know, it's been a while. So we should be seeing more in the realm of Splatoon. Even if this is, you know, just a spin-off, it's going to be the Splatoon title to be able to hold us over until we actually get more information down the line on what's happening with Splatoon 4. We'll probably get that. I want to say, my guess is going to be like either early or mid 2027. I'd place bets on it, and they're probably going to utilize the assets from whatever we see in Splatoon Raiders, because I have no doubt in my mind this game is going to look and run pretty good for what it is. It's going to be, you know, the potential for what we could look forward to in Splatoon 4. So that's probably what we're going to be seeing, right? I have no doubt they're probably going to drop some kind of a trailer, and I don't think this is going to be coming this year. I think that they're going to have that slated for next year. Speaking of Mario Kart World, I have to imagine they have some form of content update planned for Mario Kart World, right? Because, I mean, it's cool and all, but, you know, it's had so much controversy at this point that there's a lot of people that are solely relying on a Discord server to be able to play with people, right? And I have to imagine they've been listening to some capacity, because the entire situation with, like, one of the things that, you know, kind of not killed it for me per se, but made it so that I was definitely a lot less invested, is the fact that I can't have a fill feature. I don't know what it is with Nintendo being allergic to fill features in these games, but not having a fill feature so that I can have my friends and then be able to race online with them against a bunch of randoms is absolutely ridiculous to me. And some of the, like, changes that they made in terms of updates when it comes to, like, how we get from track to track, you know, the straight line situation, like the in-betweens, it feels like it's missing a lot, you know, and I feel like, you know, a big content update with, you know, a couple more tracks, obviously some more characters and things like that. I would really love it. If it would be super cute if we got Kirby as a character to be like, hey, you know, Kirby's gonna be in his own game in a couple months, but you could play him now in Mario Kart World because he fits the aesthetic, and it would be really, really cute. I really do see them giving us some form of content update. Obviously, I don't know to what capacity it's going to be. Hopefully it's going to be like a good couple of tracks, some characters, you know, maybe some more music and things like that, and we could see a cool little overhaul, maybe some more cosmetics or costumes or whatever, and, you know, just a nice big update to, you know, get people invested in the game again. Maybe a new mode or something. Maybe they update the battle mode or something. I don't know. I haven't played the battle mode. I'll be so honest. But, you know, some form of update that definitely gets people invested. I could see them pulling something like that for sure. There has to be some form of content update for Donkey Kong Bonanza, right? I mean, there doesn't have to be. Not that it necessarily needs it. It's a generally complete game, and I'm very happy with the way that it turned out. Don't get me wrong. But, I mean, it would be kind of foolish not to take advantage of DK in some way, right? I would not be surprised if we had some form of content update for DK Bonanza, maybe some challenge levels, maybe like a little standalone, not standalone DLC, but some form of DLC. Maybe we could get, you know, Diddy gameplay or something like that. Maybe some more fun little racing challenges with Diddy and Dixie, who knows, you know, but I could definitely see them doing something. It doesn't need to be like a major story update or anything like that, but it would be really cool to get some form of major update that allows us to do something new in there, that allows us to explore the powers more. Hey, you know, it'd be really funny to be able to explore New Donk City as DK, you know, it'd be pretty awesome. Maybe we can't destroy everything, but maybe we can still go underground and stuff. I don't know. It would just be pretty generally fun, I think, but I could see them doing something for DK, you know. It's still pretty fresh in people's minds, and they definitely want to, you know, emphasize that this is definitely like one of the bigger, like, not launch titles per se, but kind of launch titles for the Switch 2. And, you know, I don't know. I think it'd just be generally smart to do something like that. Hopes and wishes have always been ridiculous, but I'll keep it brief, especially because some of this is a little bit of a... it's a little bit of a reach around, you know. It's going in circles, biting my own tail type situation. It's a little repetitive, but, you know, I'm gonna keep on wishing it until it happens. First things first, I want to see Kingdom Hearts ported properly, natively to the Switch 2. I don't think there's any reason as to why the original 1.5, 2.5, 2.8 couldn't have been possible. Maybe not 2.8 I could definitely see running on Switch 1. Maybe not as smooth when it comes to 0.2 or anything like that, but I could definitely see a situation in which that would have been fine. But now, no excuse for the Switch 2. It definitely has the power output to run Kingdom Hearts 3 perfectly fine, I personally believe. So I would definitely like to see native proper ports for Kingdom Hearts 3, especially if Square is going to be pushing the port, you know, Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth properly. I want them to be doing the same for Kingdom Hearts, especially now during this downtime for Kingdom Hearts, because we know absolutely nothing, and I don't see us getting any form of actual news anytime soon. So yes, I really do want to see proper native ports for Kingdom Hearts. That would make my heart swell. It deserves it. Technically, we are getting a Zelda thing, but I do think, I mean, now it seems kind of redundant because of what's happening with, you know, Wind Waker being like ported to NSO and stuff like that. So maybe I should just give up hope on Wind Waker HD being ported over. I don't know why they decided to do that. instead of just porting over Wind Waker HD. Could have done that ages ago. But, you know, there's still hope for Twilight Princess. Maybe not. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Twilight Princess got the same treatment for GameCube, considering that's, you know, that it's still part of that era as well. So who knows at this point? It's kind of hard to tell. We should probably also be getting just more info on like a lot of the games that are coming to NSO soon, right? We should probably be getting that. We still don't know when Pokemon Colosseum and XD Gale of Darkness are coming through. So we should probably be getting that announced relatively soon, no? But maybe they'll save that for Pokemon Presents? I don't know. But regardless, I do pray that we see at least Twilight Princess HD. There's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't be seeing that. None. So hopefully that comes through. Wind Waker HD, whatever. We got Wind Waker on the Switch 2 now, so I'll take what I can get. I will continue to say it until I'm blue in the face, which is damn near impossible because I'm black. I need Kid Icarus back in some way, shape, or form. I would be extremely happy if we got a port of some sort. If we could find a way to make it work with the mouse controls, I'd be super with it. That's totally fine. If not, I would definitely be more than okay with a full sequel. But I know we're probably not getting that right now because Sakurai has been hard at work on Kirby, so. But he's kind of a workaholic, right? So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he was secretly working on 2 projects at once, and that would be a super duper miracle, right? But I highly doubt it, but I'm still going to keep wishing for it until I pass away. Or until it happens, one or the other. Totally fine with either or, but I think Kid Icarus deserves a little more time in the limelight. I think it is more than time to be able to bring it back now. It went an entire console generation barely being mentioned outside of Smash. Unacceptable. I'm not okay with that. Speaking of Smash, I mean, it's not crazy. It's not crazy to want more Smash. Why? I mean, at the very least, right? I would be perfectly okay, right? If Smash Ultimate gets a Switch 2 version, Switch 2 edition, and because of that, it gets access to another Fighter's Pass. I don't think anybody needs to be restarting development on a completely brand new Smash right now. Smash Ultimate still feels kind of recent, you know? I mean, I know it's not. It's damn near almost a decade old now. But, like, there's no way we go an entire Nintendo generation with no Smash on the console, right? Even the Wii U got it. There's no way. So, I'd be okay with a Switch 2 edition. This could be a special case where we just get upgrades and updates and things like that, and we get another Fighter's Pass, and we finally get to, like, get back into that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like a lot of people would definitely argue with me, saying that, you know, that would kind of take away from, like, how special it was that Sora made it in. I don't think so. Especially because Sora was one of my most, like, begged for characters ever. I wanted Sora since day one, and I got him, and I'm super happy with that. I don't think anybody would complain about more characters, especially with all of these other companies right now, PlayStation and Microsoft and all that, getting a lot more lenient and loose when it comes to their IPs, right? So we genuinely could see characters like Master Chief make it and stuff like that. We could see a lot more than we expected in these games, and I'd be totally cool with that, right? Still would love to see Dante, man. Oh God, I would love to see Dante, bro. Devil May Cry music in Smash. I'd lose my mind, bro, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. But regardless, I think another Smash is definitely not the craziest thing, or at the very least, a Switch 2 edition of Smash Ultimate. That's my primary, right? If it's a new Smash, that would be insane, but I highly doubt that. Again, Sakurai's been very hard at work at Kirby Air Riders, so I'm not expecting that. But, you know, I don't think he needs to be 100% present for, you know, a Switch 2 edition, and just, I mean, he would definitely be more present, but not 100%, you know? I don't know. It's a situational thing. I would just love to see another Fighter's Pass for Smash. I don't know. I feel like it'd just be a dumb opportunity to miss up. This is all a lot of stopping and starting, by the way, completely off the dome. I have just been just whatever I can come up with at this point, because I take too long to script it out. I don't want to take that long because we only have a day to talk about it. So just really wanted to take the opportunity to do that. Also, it has been like 8 hours since that last part. Anyway, I think the last major thing that I could think of for now is the potential of another Fire Emblem game. It's been a good while since we've had even Engage now. It's been like 2 full years at this point, I think. So I think it's about time for another Fire Emblem, like a new major Fire Emblem title. It's been long enough in my book. I miss this series so much, man. I do need to do some revisiting. It's been a while since I've even played Three Houses, and I'm really missing it. And even Engage, you know, as debatable as that story is, not really. The gameplay is still insanely fun for what it is, and I'm missing it a lot. Like I'm itching for some RPGs right now, you know, and I'm really hoping that we could get some more Fire Emblem on Switch 2. That would be super sick. Or at the very least, I would love to see Switch 2 editions for, well, primarily for Fire Emblem Three Houses, because that game needs an overhaul and upscaling in all types of ways, and I think it more than deserves it. So hopefully we could get something of that caliber, but I don't know. I guess only time will tell. But with that being said, I think I've more than said my piece here. So I'm passing the mic over to you guys, and I want you guys to tell me everything that you're thinking in the comment section below. It is 2 in the morning. I'm not even gonna go on a rant. I'd like to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more content just like this here. And with that, I'm gone. So thanks again. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Doing the greatest favor of taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye. To my